Now to the guest in studio. Hi, guest. Just let's crack that ice. First, I got to tell you, for those of you who are tuned in, we've got the governor of Machakos County, Dr. Alfred Mutua.
Yes.
Welcome to the studio.
Nimefurahi sana kuwa hapa. How you guys?
We are good.
You're looking good and happy?
Yeah.
Vibes. It's morning.
Yeah, it's morning. It's nice. It's energetic.
It's cold out there.
I love the music.
Oh, you like reggae?
I love reggae. I grew up with reggae.
Oh, for real?
Oh, we grew up with reggae. We used to play reggae, actually, sing reggae. Ja Rastafari. You know,
Wait, who's your favorite?
From those
reggae?
days of roots, you know, just a passing glance was all I saw.
So now
Rastafari is all the way.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
Who's your favorite
it's
reggae
nice.
artist?
Well, I don't have per se a favorite reggae artist. I go for the music. I go for the tunes. We grew up with Akina Bob Marley.
Yeah.
We grew up with all those guys. You know, now we've got raga. We've got very good. We've got dance hall. It's about. I love music with melody, and music with melody tends to live longer than music without melody.
All right. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in many places. Well, not many places. I was born in Machakos, and then when I was a kid, after maybe 4 or 5 years, we moved to Nairobi. Grew up in Kibera, at a place called Makina. And then I went to Toy Primary School. Then we moved to Ruta Satellite, Kangwar area. So that's where I grew up for the rest of until I was 21. And then I went to the US for about 7 years, then came back here, taught at Daystar, worked at The Nation, went to Australia. After that, did a stint in Australia 5 years, worked as a foreign correspondent. Yada. Went to Dubai as an assistant professor, did the whole Middle East thing.
And then you came
back. And then came back.
And then we started seeing you. But I just want to reverse to when you're growing up.
Yes.
When you're growing up, what was your idea of Kenya?
You see, when we were young, during our time, it was, we just thought about this great country. You know, we grew up in the days when things were happening. The days of Safari Rally, you know, when like April there was something to see. August unafunga shule. There was a sense of optimism, things were moving up. And then then the Moi era came, you know. And then things started getting a bit tough. Tough for us. And then, you know, it was difficult, but I grew up in abject poverty. You know, we lived in a mud house in Kibera for my childhood, you know, using a pit latrine. But we were happy. You see, it's all about happiness. You know, and even I lived in a wooden shack until I was 21 years old. I mean,
at that point,
we never had a TV. I bought my own first TV when I was an adult. We never had a TV in the house. We had this old brown radio where batteries mchana mnapeleka hapo nje zinapata joto alafu nagongoa kidogo mnarudisha. So but I was very optimistic. I always felt that it is not where you are that matters, it is where you're going. And I always knew that God has good plans for me, and that if you work harder and you're faster and you're more chap than the next guy, you'll make it.
When you look around, when you were growing up, did you see people around you that you were like, you know what, I want to be like that guy when I grow up?
Yes. I don't know. I looked at, you see, my parents bought me books. So I got engaged into outside people. You know, I read a lot about Steve Biko. I read a lot about, I read an autobiography of Winston Churchill when I was in my, you know, before I was in Standard 7. I read Winston Churchill. And then, you know, Nelson Mandela was one person I really looked up to. And I thought, wow, you know. And then, you know, we all wanted, you know, we grew up in the days of Ray Parker Jr. and all those musicians, and the era of Michael Jackson, and we thought, wow, those guys are cool. But for me, I grew up thinking big, thinking about how we can change the world and make it better. I always believe that you're not born to live in poverty. You know, that's just a transition in your life.
So with your ideas, you had, I'm sure at this point you had read these books, you'd read Steve Biko, Nelson Mandela, you Winston Churchill before you were in class 8. That's crazy. And then now, did you find the environment was conducive to help you become the person that you needed to be?
Yes. Well, the good thing about schooling in Kenya is that I went to Dagoretti High School. Then after that I went to Jammu. When you school in Kenya, you realize you go there, you're all poor. You're all struggling. But then you know people who've been through the same system and who've made it, who are working and everything. You know, one time I went through phases of what I wanted to be. You know, when I was very young, I really wanted to be a radio journalist. You know, I wanted to, because of Safari Rally. Because I used to listen to Safari Rally like at 4 o'clock in the morning. I like Motorsports. So you hear somebody saying basi wasikilizaji tuko hapa Chulo Hills, ni saa 9:30 za usiku, tunatarajia gari la kwanza lifike, la Sheka Meta ama Joginda Singh, tunasubiri kwa hamu. Basi wasikilizaji, tunaona mataa yanakuja wasikilizaji, gari linakuja kwa mbio, limefika, mataa yamewaka, ndio hii ni gari nambari pole, ni matatu tunapita hapa, lakini bado tunasubiri. So so I wanted to be a radio announcer, and I knew I wanted to do media. And then you go through this phase when people tell you need to be a doctor. Yeah. Then I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I started acting. I started doing public speaking through school. Then I started writing. Then I knew that journalism is my field. I wanted to communicate. I wanted to share things with people. When I started writing poetry, and...
Because I've seen you're a multitasker. When we were doing the research, we looked at Cobra Squad. We could talk all the things you've already mentioned, and then we get to Cobra Squad, where you were creating it, you were scripting it, you were directing it, you were basically everything. Why?
Yeah, it's because I realized that our system, and maybe it's our education system, puts us in a myopic state. We are not able to think outside the box. We're very constrained that things are done this way. Inakuanga hivi. And that is why we keep on electing the same people over and over again, and then wondering why there's no change. Because Kenyans say they want change, but they don't change. So I realized that when I tell people it is possible to produce a series, an action series that moves this way with these things, they look at me like, "Oh, jamaa anaota. He is just a dreamer." We tend to be very dismissive. Then I realized, let me do everything so I can show people that it's possible to do it at a budget. And the other thing is, you do things if you don't have money. You have to do what is called guerrilla tactics, and that's what I did. I had to do guerrilla tactics. So I ran the camera, I wrote the script, I sat there with the editors, I did the editing. Because I could multitask, I cut down the cost. So whereas other people are spending 2 million to get one thing, I could spend 100,000 shillings to get exactly the same thing by utilizing my skills.
Is this why you're really passionate about film? Because there was a time guys were just
I'm passionate about filmmaking. Film watching and filmmaking and music and everything. And I'm going to get back to it. I did that. I created Beba Beba. I had a show called How to Be Rich. And I made a lot of money also. I believe in making money, and we'll talk about making money. Don't let anybody tell you anything about not making money. Money is important. You have to know how to make money. And because you did film, you did the back end and the forth end of things. You see, we've got a lot of great films that are coming out of Kenya, but not as much financial support. You've been there. How are you helping the other filmmakers? I think I've always been a bit conservative when it comes to that. It's Hollywood, and I traveled to Hollywood. I went to Universal Studios and everything. Hollywood was not made by money from donors. It was not made by money from people who felt they needed to support the industry. No. It was made by people who made a product that people are dying to buy. And it comes down to that. So we have to get out of this feeling, this mentality in Kenya that we need to be supported. Look at the Nigerian films. They are not sponsored by anybody. People make films. You look at the South African film market, and you look at this the Hollywood. You make a blockbuster and grow through the process. People will put their money into it. When I made Cobra Squad, I made 25 million shillings. I paid off for my first house, in Kenya. Because people were willing to watch it. When I took it to the executives at Nation, they looked at it. They said, "Okay, how do we do it?" Immediately, I took it to sponsors. They say, "Yes, we want this."
In the same space, there's someone who's taking their product to the TV station, and they're like, because you're not Dr. Alfred Mutua, they're like, they don't want to give you 25 million.
I've seen so many people. Break through and make great movies who are not even known. It was nothing to do with Alfred. Let me tell you, a company, I got sponsored by a company like Airtel, Nakumat and others. They don't put their money because they know you. They put their money because of the product. People need to move away from you need to know somebody who knows somebody. If you have a very good it's like musicians, for example. If you have a nice song and you play good songs, even Kenyan music, you have a very good song, and you sing, people hear it, eventually it will make it. You'll play it once, twice on Vibes radio, other radio stations, people will ask for them. But you don't come here with a mediocre song and then say, we are not sponsored.
There's something he mentioned. He loves sports, motorsports.
Yes.
there's a big question we gotta ask.
Yeah.
What happened to Formula One in
It's
Machakos?
coming. It's coming. We're building it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any progress, like pictures?
You just hold on to your horses. It's a very expensive sport. It's all about. We've been negotiating with them. We're building a runway. Part of our runway for our airport will be the starting line of Formula One and others. And this comes to Kenyans. Kenyans criticize Formula One, because people are very. We have the crab mentality.
But you
know the crab mentality. You know. Let me tell you the story. I heard it very well about Kenyans. Kuna crabs, naitwa ka. So somebody ordered crabs from Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique, and they all put in a box, and they were being loaded into a plane. And the ones from Tanzania, the box was covered. The ones from Mozambique, the box was covered. But the ones from Kenya, the box was open. And the pilot said, we can't carry this with the box open, they'll jump out. I think I said, hapana, hizi ni za Kenya man. If one tries to go up kidogo na shikwa na zingine unaenda hapi kuja hapa. You know, that crab mentality of Kenya kuvutana chini. It's there. And I don't tell people, you can criticize, you can complain, you can say what you want, but I do things, you do the talking. But I do things, and you are judged by what you do, not by what you say. And we've been able to do great things that others have not been able to do.
So now we have to get, a bit serious, because we want to get to know you, the fun stuff. We know that, and you have to play us a song, or we're going to hand over the playlist to you at some point. Today's newspaper, The Star.
Yes.
And there's this very interesting diagram there of you and Rao and Kalonzo. And it says the feeling is mutual. So I gotta ask, 2022, you've spoken about Formula One.
Yes.
And that the project is still going on. But
there are much more important things than Formula One.
Yes.
Formula One is just sports. It's good and everything. Yeah. But how would you enjoy Formula One if you didn't have water to take a shower in the morning?
Yeah.
How do you enjoy Formula One if you slept hungry last night?
True.
And so these are some of the things that I've been able to do, is taking care of the basics in Machakos. And we are considered county number one because of the things that I've been able to do using my Maendeleo Chap formula.
So, 2022.
Yes.
Are you running for presidency?
Yes. Okay. I'm running to be the executive leader of this country because it's our time.
Yeah.
Let me give you a short history. You see, we have been in what we call the foundation stage since independence. We've never moved from the foundation stage.
What's the foundation stage?
You see, Jomo Kenyatta was the first president, and with Oginga Odinga, all they did was say, tunataka kujenga nchi, to build a country that is stable. They started that process. Daniel Arap Moi came, but you see, these two leaders were pre-independence, were people who fought for independence. Our second president also was in the Legico, in the colonial parliament, fighting for independence. Daniel Arap Moi, kuweka foundation yake, Kenya misukosuko, kutengeneza nini. Our third president, Mwai Kibaki, was also in the colonial era. He was a Secretary General of KAU before it became KANU in the 1960s. All our leaders have been pre-independence. And then we came through. Now we've got Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who is the first president to finish the new constitution. You see, other countries are not talking about the constitution, about referendums, about BBIs. Wameshamaliza. Kenya, tuko bado hapo. Tuko hapo. That's a foundation stage. We are not gone beyond just setting the structures for a better life. And then Raila Odinga came. If he was locked up, he fought for democracy. Uhuru Kenyatta amesema tunataka kuungana. Yes, that's good, but you see, we need to move from the foundation stage to a stage where we are making money. We want democracy, but democracy with more money in our pockets. And that's where I come in. I say these guys have done well. If it was not for Jomo Kenyatta, we would not have a nation. Moi made sure we were never overthrown. You know what I mean? Mwai Kibaki built the highways for us. Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga have stabilized this country. They have created democratic space. Umeelewa? But their job is done. Now it is time for a handover to a younger generation that will now grow what they have done.
But I mean, the conversation around BBI, for us, we talk to the youth around this country. And I remember yesterday we posted something and we asked guys, do you understand what's going on with, Punguza Mzigo and BBI? And basically, it's all politicking. The information right now is, it's the leaders who have to go and, rally their people to let them know. And that's just where we are. When we're looking at BBI, we're seeing there's a conversation around who is going to stand for prime minister. There's a conversation around, you're also in the conversation around being, the one of the leaders who are going to stand. And for us, we're like, okay, what's different?
Well, I think what the BBI aims to achieve is to say that since independence, we have had, every time there's an election, there's fights.
Yeah.
And people say, tumeachwa nje. Because Kenya, unfortunately, is a very tribal country.
It is.
And so, I think when I talk to Uhuru Kenyatta and I talk to Raila Odinga, the thinking is, why don't we have a system where it doesn't matter what your tribe is?
Yeah.
You know, President Jakaya Kikwete is a good friend of mine, former president of Tanzania.
Yeah.
He comes from a smaller tribe than the Somali tribe in Kenya. In Tanzania, nobody cared.
Yeah.
You know, he became president. Nobody cares your tribe in Tanzania. So they thought, what can we do so that Kenya is like Tanzania, where ijalishi? And you know, we look at where you come from. You know, I come from Ukambani. Where do you come from?
Kisii.
Yes. You also come from the neighborhood.
Yes.
You know, and you find, I passed my brother there from, you know, from Kikuyu land and everything. We work together. We eat together. Our friends are not Kisis or Kambas. My friends, my best friend is not Kamba.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're friends. So why is it that we can have friends, we can have colleagues of different tribes, but when it comes to politics, you want your person.
So how are we going to achieve
that
this?
person? So that's why we need to have a system whereby elections are conducted, whereby you've got one group versus another group versus another group that features basically all the tribes, so that regardless of who wins, you feel that you're involved in government.
I mean, it sounds all ideal and dope and fun, but one of the major challenges I have with when it's coming to conversation to the people, civic education, because when you talk to the people on ground, the word punguza mzigo, imetembea. The word BBI, in fact, people even calling it Blue Band Incorporated or something like that. Inatembea.
Na unajua wengine wanaita PPI.
Yeah, but where's
like
the information?
My friends from Shamahoho, kwa mwingine anasema PPI. Unasema PPI gani? PPI.
Yeah.
Not the one with one stomach, but the one with two stomachs. Yeah, PPI, yeah.
But the conversation, the truth is, all this is great. The ideas are great. You know, two people came and shook hands, and then they took people and said, hey, go and make something, and then now let's take it to the people. And it could come from a good place, but if the people are not involved, it is just hot air.
At the end of the day, it has to go back to the people. I mean, you always have to have a form of leadership. People need guidance.
Yeah.
You need to tell people we need to change a few things. But I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that if the BBI is talked about well, and we have consensus, and we say this is where we want Kenya to go, so that now after the next election, you never think about tribes. So that now you're choosing Mutua based on policies, on what Mutua can do. You know, I'm excited about it, because if BBI creates that avenue, people to judge me on the basis of where Kenya needs to be, because Kenya needs leaders like the European leaders, the Canadian leaders, the American leaders, who are chosen as leaders based on their policies. What are you going to do about health? What are you doing about housing? What are you doing about, not based on tribal and political machinations and all that. We want leaders who can perform. We are tired of being poor, Bana.
True.
The leaders and the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. We have to reverse that in our country.
It's crazy. Around the world, that's the same conversation, you know, the gap between the rich and the poor. How do we reduce it?
But some countries have been able to reduce it. You go to Scandinavian countries, with the social system, they've been able to reduce it. Even in the US, the middle class is growing.
Yeah, but the rich and the poor
has been growing. The poor are there, but the poor in the US are not like the poor in Matu. You know, in my people in Matu. You know,
it's systematic poverty.
And you find there that I lived in the US for 7 years. You know, the poorest, one of the poorest people I knew had a car. Alikuwa na dinga. You know, that's a very poor person. They have a phone. They're on welfare. They are very poor. Hapa ukiwa maskini, when ni maskini wa mwisho, yes, living in a slum.
But the
you have no toilet. So we have to lift up our economic situation so that people have money in the pocket. And that's my problem, is that there is very little money in circulation. Money is only going to a select few people. We need to spread the cake. And we need to be able to attract money into our country by cutting down on bureaucracy.
And corruption.
Especially corruption. Especially on corruption. Because nasikia watu wengine wameiba mpaka wakaiba loan. Tunaomba loan alafu loan pia wanaiba.
Sasa, you know what's... In this conversation right now, you know, you used to be us. Now you're there. So you have to give us the answers. We're sitting here in a country where we're seriously combating corruption. Serious. In fact, if you ask even a child in class 1 right now, what is Kenya combating? Corruption. They know what corruption is. We see it entrenched everywhere. But here's the crazy part. We've not seen a single person we've seen, including yourself, and you were very pissed about this, being called to EACC.
Yes.
On corruption charges.
And we went and we got cleared.
And you got cleared.
We got cleared because our job is to save people's money. And the funny thing is, this is what I'm saying, Kenya needs to get out of myopic thinking. When I became governor, we were given 140 million shillings. Tukaambiwa, these are for you, the governor, and your ministers, munue magari. So I can buy a big car, nikae back left.
What?
Munue magari. Yeah, we're given money for setup, for vehicles, 140 million per county.
Yeah.
Mi nikafikiria, in Machakos, women are being carried by wheelbarrows, taken to hospital, giving birth, dying on the streets because they don't have ambulances. I said, it is wrong. It is ethically wrong for me to drive a brand new car as a governor, give my ministers, my PS's cars, whereas our mothers are dying, our children are dying without ambulances. So what did I do? I spent 35 million of the 140 and bought second-hand vehicles. I said, if you go to the streets of Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, people are driving second-hand vehicles. So why can't a government officer drive a second-hand vehicle? So I bought second-hand vehicles, clearly saved money, squeezed. Actually, the value of the vehicles were 50. We squeezed, we bought them for 35. The remaining money, we bought ambulances for every location in Machakos. We have ambulances for every location in Machakos, And now, if you call, an ambulance will come to you, regardless of when in Machakos, within 5 to 8 minutes to save your lives. We have ferried close to 500,000 people. We've saved lives. So, they wanted to charge me because nilinunua second hand vehicles. Unaona? Ati because nilijinyima kununua Mercedes Benz kubwa na watu wangu waendelee kubeba na wheelbarrow. It's myopic. So when the new DPP came in, akaona hii ni ubatili. Mutua should actually have been given an award, not being dragged through at Mutua ni corrupt. Is corruption really saving money? Corruption is about eating money that belongs to the people. So, you know what I mean? So we have to change. And this is cartels, it's other leaders, it's people saying, let's find a way of burying Mutua without knowing that I'm like a good seed. You bury me, I'll just grow.
Germinate.
I'll just germinate. So, so that's where those allegations against me came from. Not that any money was lost. Not that pesa ijulikani mahali iko. Ama nini. Ati hakufuata procedure.
But
hakufuata procedure. But right now I'm saving lives of people. So, that's why I'm interested in the BBI. We have to change the conversation and get out of this mentality of procedures, because niliuliza watu wangu juzi, Uhuru Kenyatta alisema hakuna pesa. Because
we've been getting money from parastatals.
It's very, very hard to get money into the market because government is the biggest spender. But from the time of procurement, when somebody says they're going to supply a good, to the time their money lands into the bank, there are over 30 procedures. 30 procedures with about 35 procedures with nearly 30 different people who that file has to go through for a signature. You want to tell me out of those 35 akotoka na kamoja ambaye atakanyagia file mpaka apewe kitu?
Of course.
We have increased procedures. Look at what you call the private public partnership. We have people here who say, Mutua, I'll build you a railway line with my own money. And then I will charge people for the next 30 years. I make my money, but it will be at a low cost. We benefit. I'll build you a highway. I'll build a solar farm. I'll do this. That's how countries like Croatia have grown. That's what South Africa have built highways.
But
Upper Kenya, before a PPI can pass, a PPP can pass, it is 21 procedures and 5 years. People come, they start in Kenya, they leave Kenya, they go to Rwanda and do it in Rwanda. They go to South Africa, they do it there. They go to other countries. We are left the poorer because of bureaucracy. Because of bureaucracy and this system. So I'm interested in the BBI kusema, enough is enough. Our people are suffering. Our young people are educated, are sitting at home. They have no jobs. Watakula nini? Hata vijana siku hizi, your guys are not getting married bana. Unaoa na nini? Hakuna msichana anataka mtu ana kitu.
It's true.
Ndio unamwambia mtu hi, anakuambia hi.
But in that same space, when you're seated with the other governors, because there are other governors who are literally have been flagged year after year of not spending the county resources, or maybe look at for example, the Ministry of Health. Money is spent, and then someone comes and says, we went and bought the wrong thing. Before we bought shoes, we should have bought legs. And we're like, and the money has already been spent
because they're called procurement induced programs. So mtu anasema, okay, how can we make money? Situnue hii. Let's create a need that is not there.
Yeah.
And that's a problem in this country.
But
all these NYS saga, all these sagas of Goldenberg, they are all induced as a procurement idea for people to make money. It's not that they were needed.
But you agree that corruption is it needs to be sorted immediately.
And the problem with the corruption is that, and I'll say this without fear or favor, is when the very senior people in this country are involved in corruption.
Yeah.
When the biggest thief sits at the highest table in this country.
Yeah.
Now that's a problem.
Okay.
Because that means that the person who is in charge of influencing resources, the person in charge of controlling the lives of many people is involved in corruption. And I feel sorry for Uhuru Kenyatta, because I feel like he's busy as a shepherd during the day, taking care of the kondoo, anazifungia, lakini ule watchman anacho usiku amsaidia kazi, anaanza kuiba.
So you've said that DP Ruto and Kalonzo should step aside because you are the one now to take the fresh ideas forward.
It's very clearly when this constitution that we have talks about the presidency. Yeah. The presidency is not one person.
Yeah.
It is Uhuru and Ruto. They stood there in their red ties, wakasema tutajenga hii, tutajenga pamoja, wakasema tuko pamoja. It's a presidency. It's called the presidency. You come in together, you go together.
Yeah.
And mimi naulizanga hivi, seriously.
Yeah.
What will Ruto do different than he's been unable to do these 10 years? It will be 10 years with Uhuru. What new ideas will he bring us that he has not been able to implement now? Now he's in power. Why can't he do those things now to One? So what new will he bring? It will be semo. It will be semo.
Would you say
Kenya, we want change. What new will he bring? Which stadium will he now build that he's not been able to build?
Yes.
What roads will he build? What employment will he give to our people? What manufacturing will he be able to attract to Kenya that he'll attract when he's now the president, that he's been unable to attract now when he's in the presidency, when he has just similar powers to the president? Unaelewa? Sasa tuache kuenjoyiwa. This governance and issues of power and presidency are not about an individual. They are about the masses of people who are poor. These systems should not be set up for one man. Yeye ni mtu kama mimi na wewe, anaamka anaenda choo kama mimi na wewe, analala, anaota, anasikia uchungu akidungwa na mwiba kama mimi na wewe, damu yake ni nyekundu. This is a man like you and me.
But isn't that why we set up EACC to fight corruption?
Yes.
We set it up as in all Kenyans were involved in this. We said we need an EACC. But so far it seems like a toothless dog.
No, I think EACC. Let's give it the credit it deserves. I think EACC has really done quite a bit of things. You talk about high level. But there's also a lot of these low level corruption that goes on. But what I think is, even as we prosecute people, we need to take administrative action. I'll be taking some administrative action myself at the end of the week. I'm firing a number of people who are involved, because by the time you prosecute them, you suspend them, they're still getting a salary. Gross misconduct, watume nyumbani.
But this is
as
what
you prosecute them.
Punguza Mizigo,
Yes.
Ekuru Court, actually, when he posted his, and we were very surprised at this thing, but we understand public participation and all that. He mentioned they were proposing that when someone is busted for corruption, within 30 days they expedite that case. So and it's possible.
Yeah, I think 30 days is unreasonable, but I think 3 months is possible. And I've said the same thing. I've said the Chief Justice today, without changing the law, has the instruments, because he can issue rules of the High Court. Can issue rules that from the time you're indicted, from the time you take plea to the time that the case is over, it should not be more than 3 months. And then if you're innocent, unamaliza, unarudi kazini kwako. If you're guilty, unaenda kamiti kula maharagwe. You know what I mean? Maharagwe si mbaya. But you know what I mean? Ama shimolatewa. Mahali wengine wanahepa. So unaona, so it's all about but you see, when people know that you can be told to step aside, and you're innocent, and it will take 5 years before you're cleared, your life is ruined. Watu watangangania kuwa hapo. They'll do whatever it takes to stay there because they feel there's no justice. Case in point, Chicken Gate. Wale jamaa waliba kuku. Ile ya Chicken Gate, IBC. The guys who facilitated the bribing in UK were arrested, were charged, went through the court system, and they were locked up, and they served 3-4 years, and were released, and they paid high fines after serving time. Whereas the ile kesi ya Kenya that started at the same time mpaka leo hujafika katikati.
So what is
mpaka leo hujafika katikati.
Is it that there's no, because when we're sitting here, when you're saying
it's
all
a political,
this amazing,
it's a political will. The judiciary has to agree that we, and we can do it. We did it for political petitions. Political petitions were very clear. You have to finish by this date, and they finish. So why can't we do the same for corruption acts? So unaingia, unamaliza, unaenda mbele. And life moves on, and then I think that people realize ni kubaya. Ni kubaya. You can never end corruption 100%, but you can reduce it kabisa.
Okay. We've talked about corruption. Let's go back to your legacy. You've been county governor of Machakos for now 8 years, thereabout. You have 2 more years left. What do you want your legacy to look like?
I've got about 3 years. No, I want my legacy to be of a county that who used to go to Machakos before I became governor, in a sense, you know, people never used to talk about Machakos. We have been able to lift up Machakos, in the arts, we build a stadium. I'm building actually 9 stadiums. Si kama za jama wengine zangu ziko, mine are already off the ground. I'll be launching them soon. I'll invite you. We have activities. We have what you call Tour de Machakos, where we, like a Tour de France, cycling. I have the People's Park. We have races. Oh, by the way, I want to invite you to Machakos Fun Run. It is December 7. Nyote pote mnamsikiza, tafadhali kujeni Machakos tarehe 7 mwezi wa December. Come and we run together. It's a fun run.
I feel like you should do it the way they announce it, like the one for the car. We'll do it at the end of the show.
So I invite you guys. Please come. Machakos Fun Run. Let's run. We have done things, but more so, I came to Machakos at a time when we were told that Kambas kazi yao ni kupewa chakula. I bought tractors. And they started increasing the yield. I gave free seeds, free fertilizer. And today Machakos is not in the list of counties receiving food relief. Since independence, tumepewa food relief. For the first time since I've become governor, we've been removed the last 4 years after my initiatives took root. I have dug, we are told hakuna maji, I have dug over 450 boreholes, all solar powered. And they are feeding people. I've laid 360 kilometers of piped water. These are soft things that people don't talk about. You know what I mean? I've dug 250 dams and ponds, and I'm continuing, and riverways. So I'm providing water. Kutoa hiyo aibu ya maji. You have to take care of the basics.
What about the youth?
My polytechnics in Machakos are free of charge. So any young person who wants to gain a skill, because you cannot get employed unless you have a paper. Huwezi kuwa hapa bila karatasi. Regardless of how talented you are, you need something to get you inside the door. So all my polytechnics in Machakos, all 40 of them, free of charge. Nenda usome ukiwa msichana kijana, get a skill. I'm bringing factories. I've brought about 50 factories to Machakos County. They are continuing. They are employing people. I want to bring more and more and more. I started the plan for the Machakos new city, which is under construction, and then muone, it is under construction. I usually don't like talking about things that I am doing. Once I say I'm going to do, I keep quiet until it is done. So I'll be launching soon. Watu watakuja sema haya, kume Mutua amekuwa kinyamaza. I have built highways. I've built roads. I think I'm the only governor to actually build highways. I've built kuja Machakos, uliza Machakos, barabara za Mutua ziko wapi. You'll be shown. But you see, Syokimau is one part of Machakos. Machakos is a very, very big region, all the way from Masinga to other places. And we'll get to Syokimau. But you know, what is Syokimau? Unajua, ukiuliza mtoto wa Syokimau kuchorea barabara ya lami anakuchorea. If you go to a place called Ikombe Niata, those kids have never seen a tarmac road. A whole constituency without a single tarmac road. You go to a place called Dithini in Mudesia. People, when they bury their dead, they leave their cars and carry the bodies on their shoulders for 5 kilometers because they don't even have access. So what was Syokimau? We have a program for Syokimau. We are coming. We know it's an urban area. Don't worry, we are coming. But siku moja nitawabeba na basi mwende mazishi mbebe mwili na mgongo, then you'll see Mutua with the limited resources has to spread it across the county.
That's what I wanted to ask.
I cannot put all my resources in one region. Unaelewa? I have to spread it, and they have to understand fair is fair.
And that's what I wanted to ask, because when it seems that you as a governor, you have the freedom to decide the priority of how you're going to spend your resources and how it's going to come back. And it looks like some counties, like for example, I give this example of Ministry of Health buying equipment that they did not need, and it's seated there, should be earning revenue. And so I'm sure there's a lot of other challenges in Machakos and plans that you have for the future, for the young people and for the residents of Machakos. As we wind up, what would you tell the residents for the next 3 years? What should they expect?
I think people should expect to see even greater things. I'll be launching a lot of things. We're building an airport. I'm going to.
I hope they're not launching like this one's where we are launching in 2 minutes they're gone.
No. Tunajenga airport.
Yeah.
We build an airport. I build roads, but akasema barabara za Mutua, they cannot last. 7 years down the road, the roads are still there, holding tarmac roads as good as others.
Yeah.
You know, we have this crab mentality, defeatist attitudes. Just because it's never been done in your village, you think it can never be done in another village. I want to tell my people that of Kenya that I'm going to leave Machakos a much better place than it was when I got in there.
Okay.
I want my people to walk with pride, knowing that I've made them richer. I have a Mabati program, so we've eliminated basically grass-thatched houses in Machakos County. Hatutaki nyumba za nyasi, nyumba za matope. We don't want that. People need to live in better houses so they can actually harvest water. I have a major program to feed people, quarter acre. But more so, I'm setting up initiatives to give people money in the pocket. Wacha nikwambie. Unless we have people getting richer, this country is going nowhere. And my initiatives are to empower people to have money in the pocket. My agriculture initiatives, my education initiatives, everything I do, ubakie na pesa kwa mfuko. People are tired of being broke. I am tired of, maybe you guys are never broke, but me, I'm tired of being broke. You know, because the money we have and the needs that we have are not enough. Our people are sitting at home. Yes, tunasikiza reggae, you know, you can't stop reggae. You're going to skiza reggae, but you are poor.
And also, there's something you said. You said national. That 2022, your plan is, presidency.
I'm going for the big seat because we have to transform the lives of our people. We have to bring back hope to our people.
How?
I am going, once I become the president of this country, for example, I'll do like what they did in the US with the GI Bill and everything, build highways and infrastructure, get basically everybody employed, get everybody producing. Because Kenyans are not lazy. Kenyans are hardworking, they just need to be given opportunities. And I've got a myriad of very, very many things that I don't want to talk about because every time I go to a radio station or I write something or I go and give a speech about the things I'll do, you see somebody anaanza mwingine anasimama anasema hata mimi wakati nitakuwa rais nitafanya. The people keep on copying. They keep on copying my ideas. We were talking about it the other day. I had some good ideas. Nikaona another candidate set up a secretariat yake anasema atafanya hivyo. All copied from my ideas. So I will launch my ideas at the right time. Because I'm tired of people just tuning in to listen to what Mutua will say. Then after I say it, now that's when they whatever. But mbele iko sawa. We went to Kibra. We won in Kibra. People are bribing Kibra. A bit of violence, which I did not like. But we are getting to a stage where now we can talk about policies and issues in Kibra. And I'm happy to say that we could not get somebody imposed on us just because we are poor. I grew up in Kibra. I'm poor. We were poor in Kibra. Just because we were poor, we can't get somebody imposed to us because they are coming with money to bribe us and have to kubali. That Kenya is gone. And we sent a message clearly. And it is fun and great work with Uhuru Kenyatta. And I loved working with Raila Amolo Odinga, a man who's really stood for this country, a man who the democracy we're enjoying, the free space of this radio station can actually be attributed to him. He has suffered for our country and he means well for our country.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen, especially after tomorrow. I'm sure you're going to be very involved in the BBI report. We might just call you to have more of this conversation.
Yes. Let's talk about the PPI. And for me, it has a BBI that has to, at the end of the day, even though we want to have seats and democracy and unity, we have to have proposals that will ensure that money is flowing not only to the rich, but to the majority of Kenyans.
To the constituents and especially watu wa Machakos. Machawood.
Oh yes, inaendelea vizuri sana.
Okay.
We have the Machakos Fest. It's been growing and growing now. We are partnering with other areas. We are partnering with some institutes in Hollywood. We've partnered with the Nigerian film organization. So we are growing and growing. You know, you start a baby, a baby is not born today alafu anakula githeri kesho. So we are growing and growing and I'm very, very proud of Machakos.
I also plan to do something because you remember KFCB said ukipatikana na drone you have to get G1 million bob for the license.
And all that. You see, and that is why I'm saying we increase bureaucracy. We make it very expensive for Kenyans to do things. In Machakos, I removed all licenses for filming. If you're a Kenyan filmmaker and you want to make a film, you come to Machakos, you will pay 0.
Okay.
You're not charged anything. Nobody will stop you. Nobody will tell you, can you see your permit? No. You film for free. I think it's the only county in the whole country because I'm supporting the youth. And I want them to get into the creative arts.
Thank you so much for giving us your time this morning.
I've had a wonderful time with you guys, and I'm asking your listeners to follow me on Twitter at Dr. Alfred Mutua, at Dr. Alfred Mutua, also on Facebook, Dr. Alfred Mutua, and also on my Instagram. Just type Alfred Mutua, you'll find me. And follow me, and let's keep the conversation going.
Thank you so much for coming through.